We're back.
I
don't know if that was a long break or a short break, but it felt long and it felt good. So everybody felt long and it felt good. And come on,
that's what everyone says.
That's what everyone says. Welcome back.
Start doing that's what they say. Open for everything. They're like,
I usually like to flip it so it's gay every time.
That's what gay said.
So
or say never.
So who's I haven't really been looking. Who's been on the show? Pen and Paper Capers.
And
hi y'all.
Me,
Denny and the bunch.
Denny. I mean, the only people chatting are me, Rowan, and
hi, Rowan.
Denny.
Right.
I'm enjoying your chats.
Cool. Evie didn't make it tonight.
Not
yet.
Like no.
Okay. I always like it when they come.
I feel like
they honestly usually forget, and then I say something about it like last week, and then they jumped on.
That's fine.
Yeah.
They're still like probably one of our greatest fans, and I just really enjoy that.
Yeah. So. Oh, we still have to get them the book.
Yes, we do.
Hey,
but you know,
apparently this is Blade, not Denny.
Who? It's what?
Squinty.
This is Blade. Blade, I don't know you. Hi. Welcome. Cool. Well, yeah, that's fucking awesome. Love it. All right, so nice where were we? Nice to meet you, Blade. Well, cyber meet you. We'll meet you in person sometime. It'd be fun.
Oh, he only uses for broadcast. I can talk.
Words.
Words?
All of a sudden, you just turned like British.
What magic did we find, Bill? Or did time find?
Oh, yeah. What's this thing?
Oh, well, time. Let me retrieve the DMG and let you know.
Was it going to be random?
No, I know exactly what it is.
Still probably just wants the full info to give you.
Yeah, that's not should.
So
I didn't drop that.
It certainly isn't pretty.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I know you are.
There's ways to purify.
So
Ferk is like, it's not that bad.
I had worse.
Where are you?
I look worse.
You
look real gross right now.
You know, not said that.
Okay, so time. You in the very middle of the standing stones, amidst all of the sort of fungal growths and vines and everything covering it, and it really requires you to do a little digging. Are you willing to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. You sort of get in there and you pull out this hunk of like melted wax. As if it was a candle that was lit and then got kind of put out and maybe smothered by the lack of oxygen inside of this whole ordeal. And so that hunk of wax in and of itself is the magical emanation that you are now retrieving. And I'm sorry, what?
Do not put that in your mouth.
God damn it.
For science.
Well, if it's for science, I'm okay with this.
Bad influence on each other.
Science is anymore.
Can I use Arcana check to kind of get a sense of what this is for now?
Absolutely.
Cool.
We're all going to eat something.
By the way, what are your two portents of the day?
I haven't had them because we haven't had a long rest in a while.
Okay.
So that's why I haven't been using them for the
Got
last
it. So they were already used.
They were used at the beginning of last session, I think, and then we haven't had a long rest since. So.
All right.
That is going to be a 12.
So with that roll, you are not sure. You feel like you're going to have to like sit down with this and kind of meditate on it.
Cool. So yeah, she kind of like says like, okay, well, I'll have to spend some time on this when we're in a safe place, but kind of like wraps it in a cloth and kind of like, binds it. And says,
can
like,
Fer take a quick peek and roll an Arcana on that?
Absolutely. So let me just describe. So the color of it is sort of like a greenish gray, and it's about
drink.
It's about the size of
that's a miss, everyone.
One of our soundproofing sort of squares in back of you. It's about like that big.
Oh, okay.
And it's about as tall as probably. Well, if it wasn't burnt down, it'd be as tall as one of our microphones, but it's about half the size.
Okay, interesting. So yeah, it's a pretty sizable chunk of something.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, time wraps it up and like puts it away, and then we'll identify when we get to a safe zone.
Yeah. Right. And you do see that there is still a wick on it, although you have to sort of like dig it out of the wax as it sort of like went horizontal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so this ordeal that you were just I mean, please talk amongst yourselves.
I feel like we got a level of purification.
Tars, maybe we should hot-foot it up.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like this is probably the closest we've had to some level of purifying this area.
I'll be honest. You could probably tepid foot it out of here.
Yeah, but
I get that you want to leave.
Yeah.
And I totally get that. I'm just making a point that as long as you're moving steadily,
amble out of here,
yes.
and it would be okay.
Yes.
Where's pony ride?
Are you?
I'll give you a
You're
pony
not too
ride.
tall.
Okay.
Just don't touch my pusses.
Oh wait, I thought that was okay.
I could definitely give you a piggyback ride, but
I don't need one. It would just be for fun.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be any like higher up than normal.
Okay.
All right, so you amble on out of here.
I remember
You get to a different area. In this area, probably for the first time since you got into the Moonjaw village, you don't see any of those creatures, and you feel like you're relatively safe.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Hey, Baron, you want to find us a place to sleep?
Of
Well,
course.
let's bury the elder really quick.
Oh,
Or not the elder. Let's bury the
Kesha.
Kesha.
that means
The
we have to go
Dufflore and
back
Kesha.
into the village. And
I thought we were
grab-
still in the village and there was no things left.
Yeah, we're just in an area where there's less of them. But like,
Yeah.
I think we can. I mean, that was always our intent to kind of bury the Kesha. So
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
promised.
we're gonna do that. But like,
I
honestly,
would
we
do
can
this.
make it out of the village before you rest. I think that should be our best bet.
Yeah. Can we just build a quick pyre and just
Yeah, definitely.
quick pyre, burn the bodies?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
Cool.
We're doing that.
Lennon says a few words over the Kesha, and we all.
Lennon says, I'm the first one that would want to give them proper burial and even incinerate. I understand why that's necessary, but it's going to draw attention. I think we should reconsider.
Well, we can light. We can
We're
light
gonna
it.
light a
From
pyre and then leave.
we can light it from a distance and then go.
And also maybe the
All right,
blob.
as long as you have a plan, I'm
They'll be distracted.
The
by
blob
it.
tires will be distracted by the flame, and maybe a couple of them will
melt.
burn.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to make the pyre, say some prayers, and then light it and leave.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not gonna watch it burn down. That's fine.
No.
I
It is not
I
the full
misunderstood. I
respect that the
apologize.
Kesha deserves, but it is what we can manage at this point.
Yeah.
Thank you for this.
Yeah. Everyone deserves a respectful death at some point, at least.
We burn one down, but Baron also lights one down.
Yeah, we carry the pyre with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
light it with the
As we're ambling, because these creatures are so slow.
Yeah.
I literally on my bucket list have smoke a joint lit by the Olympic. I don't know if it's ever possible, but it's on there.
This only makes me want to read the rest of your bucket list.
I feel like we should
It
make
gets
this
less
possible.
cool.
I don't know. Something tells me that's not true. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's wicked funny. Okay. So you
It's never come up organically.
you
by
light the
way.
pyre, hauling as
I
many
know.
of the bodies as you can in there, but notably so, Young the Bearded. And Lennon says some touching words and says something to the degree of, one day we shall meet our new chiefess, and or maybe chief, if trust to go back to those ways. And he just sort of like really quickly glances towards you, but then glances away. This may be the evolution that we need as a people.
I was like de-evolution of me.
Perhaps, but
Shit.
It's just got political.
I just don't know what you mean by America. And
That's fair, Lennon.
regardless,
Sorry.
I think that
I was metagaming.
we will find the leader that we need soon enough. And my great aunt, thank you for passing along all the teachings that And then he just kind of,
Kath hands him a hanky.
Yeah.
It's a little slimy.
a little bit. Yeah. It's like full of pustule.
Oh,
Yeah.
thought-
Oh, God.
Berg
Yeah.
slips in the clean.
exhausted.
By the way, you're still not doing so great.
I know. I need to sleep.
Yeah.
Or try to sleep.
Baron,
Right.
can you find us a nice, comfy cave that's far away from here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let's travel out of the village and then go find a place to rest.
So here's the deal. Survival check, you'll be rolling at advantage because you're you in the forest.
Who, me?
I love your dice rolling books, for God's sakes. They're the best.
12.
12. So you...
No pluses?
Excuse me.
Well, I had a +5. I rolled low.
Oh.
Mhm.
But the good news is
She rolled a 7 and a 1.
that we're being followed by very slow creatures. And the reason that I am not being as stealthy as I usually am is because I'm fucking high. And we've just
The good
been
news.
we've just been through a lot. There's a lot of responsibility placed squarely on our shoulders, and we have a lot of sussing out to do. And frankly, I don't know when we're gonna get a rest. So this is kind of the last hurrah until game time. You know what I mean? So I basically am like, here, I found this patch of earth. This'll do.
No, we need like a cave. We need.
Can I try again with the survival check, Bill?
Can you try again?
Like, can I try to look?
Okay,
like, I
okay,
don't think
fine.
this is working.
I use my inspiration.
I was gonna give you an inspiration, but then I realized I used both of mine.
No, it's cool.
You're gonna okay.
Everybody's complaining. I sober up a little bit. I splash some water on my face.
Berg is really stoned and really wants
I know.
somewhere
I get
comfy
it.
to
I'm the
sleep.
ranger. I need
How
to be
is
the
everyone
sober
stoned?
one. Because we lit
Because
one
we
up.
just lit one up for the orcs. You didn't hear that?
okay.
That's what inside of the Olympic
We
joint.
burned one
funny.
down and we burned one down.
Life is
got
funny
it.
sometimes,
Life is
Bill.
funny.
Oh
You
my
guys are
God.
finally on times
Roll the
level.
Why do you
fucking
think
dice.
Lennon started crying? He didn't handle his shit.
All right, I got it.
Yeah, you did. That's another nat 20.
Fuck
Yes.
So
Get on board.
I'm just gonna say that you locate that hidey hole that you
want a
were-
cave? Here's your fucking cave.
So I'm
Oh,
gonna
look.
say,
Stalagmites,
Shanna, I'm gonna say that you
stalagmites?
locate your hidey hole that you actually found previous to this.
Oh, yeah,
That
yeah.
with the babbling brook and
Oh,
everything
so
like
nice.
that. It's so nice. It's so calming. It's so comforting. And I want to also let you know that you already succeeded before. You actually didn't need to roll
It was more fun that way, wasn't it?
It kind of was.
Hey, at least you get a D6. Well, I guess that's not going to really matter because... Anyway, let me stop talking. You all gain a long rest. That's the good news.
Ooh.
Cool.
The bad
I'm gonna
news is-
I'm gonna identify.
You
some
do
shit, but-
not gain back any of your exhaustion.
I figured. I really feel like we need a cleric.
Yeah. only.
Spoiler alert, one may be coming. Just saying.
That's why Deadpan looked at the camera.
Yeah.
What's the candle thing, Bill?
As you tune into that deeply and thoroughly, you realize that this is a candle of evocation.
Ooh.
And so I'm going to read said candle to you. So first of all, the alignment of the candle
Okay.
is the alignment of the orcs, which I will say is neutral good.
Okay.
So the candle's magic is activated when the candle is lit, which requires an action. After burning for 4 hours, the candle is destroyed. So I will say that this was a extra, like it was designed for this ritual and it was designed to burn for 8 hours.
Mhm.
So this half-burned candle is actually like the equivalent of a brand new candle of evocation.
Mm-hmm.
So you can burn it for 4 hours, and you can snuff it out early for use at a later time. Deduct the time it burnt in increments of 1 minute from the candle's total burn time.
Uh-huh.
Following?
Yeah.
While lit, the candle sheds dim light in a 30-foot radius. Any creature within that light whose alignment matches that of the candle makes attack rolls, saving throws, and ability checks with advantage. In addition, the cleric or druid in the light whose alignment matches the candles, and by the way, Lennon's alignment is neutral good, Want to put that out there.
Mhm.
Can cast first level spells. They had prepared without expending spell slots. So the spell's effect is as if cast with a first level slot. So they basically can just keep casting first level slots, almost as if they were cantrips. Does that make sense?
But you can't like go up to like 2 or 3.
That is correct. Alternatively, when you light the candle for the first time, you can cast the gate spell with it. Doing so destroys the candle.
Does this
My candle.
mean you can get us to?
Can you a demon world
Or, you know,
or right to cracks?
Sure.
So
Oh,
the gate spell only, in this case, only transcends from one plane of existence to another.
'Cause
So it
no
cannot
teleport.
go from one area of Terra Sentia to another area.
Noted.
As per our no
So
teleport.
demons maybe,
Um,
but not out of Kashar.
Ah. Right.
I mean, you're supposed to get us.
I'm trying.
I'm trying.
you're failing.
You're pussy.
Yeah, well, you're fussy, so
Aw.
Pussy and fussy
Touche.
and super
I'm gonna
duper
go-
mussy.
Scavenge dinner. I'll be back.
fine.
You guys chill. Fine. We've got this cave. We've got this babbling brook.
Kat's making tea for everybody.
So what's the plan?
I'm making
Cracks.
tea? Don't look at me.
Well, I don't mean tea or food or beverage. I mean,
Go to Craxton.
Crackster
We
bust.
make the spiral a disc and find the heart.
Obviously.
that's not going to work.
Why not?
What does that even mean?
Going to cracks?
And looking specifically at you.
Why can't we go to cracks?
Well, you can go to Craxed. I mean, unless the Blackfang Outsiders are blessed by ancestors old and new, you won't stand a chance. The city does not bode well for non-orcs.
Okay, I have a question, Phil. This is out of character.
Yeah.
When we had our little like vision thing, I asked you if I knew where the tunnels were because I was listening.
Oh, thank you for reminding me that.
Yeah. Sorry. Anyway. I would like to know that.
Yeah, in your heart, in your gut, it was Craxed, but here's the thing. The visions that you saw, you've never seen at Craxed before.
Mhm.
It must be in a area that you're unfamiliar with.
Like underground or like.
Correct. And remember, Craxed is like a massive plateau of rock.
Oh yeah, it's like a
So
huge
when
cliff. like,
yeah, exactly.
Lion
So
King
when I say
style.
underground, you could be in any. I mean, who knows what's dug out in that?
inside this.
Yeah.
All right. I'm like out. Ashleen is thinking too many things about these tunnels right
Okay,
now.
do you want to share anything
Yes.
about it?
So they're made
Because-
with
just
they're-
know this
they're
is
lined
meta
with
talk,
metal,
so,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, this is meta talk. They're lined with metal,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that doesn't really seem like something that the orcs would have built because we don't use metal. Like we actively have talked that we don't use metal. It just
Yeah.
deteriorates in the Kashar. And not only are these tunnels lined with it, but like it doesn't seem like historically like we know that they're there. Like I was surprised to see them. I don't think if I asked Lennon about them, I doubt that he would know what I was talking about. But that being said, that might be the way that you guys can be in Craxed without being hurt by whatever it is that Craxed does to people. Craxed does to people that is not orc.
Hmm.
And that might also be how we find this heart. If we all had this similar vision with the mycelium, like showing us these tunnels.
These tunnels.
Well, I'd say like time has also fills you in on some of her journey, right, and also her talk with Morel, and that like we're being watched by the demons who have come back from before. They've gone through some sort of change. They were difficult enough last time, so the legends tell us. But they are seeking the heart, and it seems like this may destroy the mycelium who come from another world.
Right.
And like if we may lead them there, which would be bad. But it seems like they've found it anyway, or will find it anyway.
And I want to correct you. They perhaps don't come from another world as much as they come from another planet.
Another place, Terra.
Okay. And I guess I'll fill you guys in kind of what I heard from the Mycelium too about how their network was broken and like why they were seeded in the first place. So they were like being fed on and they started feeding on each other essentially. Then they got to a point where they could breathe and expected us to like fix like, and I basically tell you guys I think that ain't that it came the first time is what's happening, might be what's happening again. Like this is what the forest showed me when I ended above it with you guys.
Ferg is just taking all this in.
Ferg, you've read every book that orcs have written. Do you know anything about these tunnels?
Yeah, was there any mention of these tunnels under cracks?
I'm just gonna give this to you, like you're 100% certain that you've read zero about this.
Yeah. No, this is all brand new.
However, I will allow you to roll a knowledge history check or something else.
You like history.
I know you do. History likes you. I mean, let's be honest.
18?
Ooh, you know, I mean, all the description that Kef gave, nothing orcish.
Yeah.
I mean, really what it reminds you of is something of dwarven make.
Yeah. And Cracks used to be a dwarf city, right? It's where...
No.
Always
has been orc. Now the dwarves have visited Craxed. I mean, It is their capital, and they have been sort of invited on an emissary level to the peaks. It's one of the only places and one of the only peoples that can kind of like come in and out and in that very specific area. That being said, no one really knows how or why that is. It's either a closely kept secret or something that has just simply never been revealed.
Yeah.
I need to get to the peaks. That might be where the entrance to the tunnels are.
Berg also wants to ask Lennon what he means by blessed by ancestors old and new.
Well, you would have to have the blessings of all of the chieftesses and then our past ancestors, including the chiefs that died within the first act of penance. And you're not going to be able to do that, let's be honest. I mean, the Grove of the Ancients exists outside of the border of the Kashar. Not happening. I mean, for you. Maybe for you.
But I can move next. I'm blessed, right?
Well, I
I'm
wouldn't.
already blessed. But
I would. He doesn't mean. He means. So, yes, in a sense, yes.
Mm-hmm.
In a sense, yes.
So, but does would our participation in the ritual of preservation, where we spoke with our own ancestors and were blessed by Ramog, like would that convey?
Make an insight
safety?
check.
And as I'm dropping spoiler hints, so.
I love it.
What's my
12?
insight? 13.
So, you're actually not sure.
Yeah, and we're talking it out with Lennon.
Yeah, if you okay, got it. Go ahead and roll an advantage then, because Lennon's sort of like, coming back with insight that he has.
So
it was a 12 on the die.
Yeah.
And then you said 13 total.
Yeah. I like to be able to see what I rolled.
Totally fine. To another 12. Okay, so
So we're talking it out and still not quite sure.
Yeah, because you're talking in circles. Like
Yeah.
Lennon says something that convinces you otherwise, but then you say something that convinces Lennon otherwise, and now you're both sort of 50-50 second guessing each other.
Yeah.
In a sort of healthy debate, none of you are arguing or anything like that, but it's just like it's one of those things where like you can't come to a consensus about this.
Yeah. Well, because I'm human. He's an orc.
Does anybody else have any sort of inquiries or anything like that that are relevant to you or your character?
And look for secret tunnels.
Yeah, basically.
You can check behind the waterfall. There's always secret waterfalls. Books.
I was
Right?
going to say at the base of the cliff.
That's
Would
the
be-
base of the cliff too.
Yeah.
I will say that for you two, you because you're part of the Orcish tribes, and then you because you're a historian, please. And what is your research angle, Captain Time? It's astronomer, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to stick with you two. You two may roll a history check if you would like. And the history check is when Lennon mentioned the Grove of the Ancients. This kind of like is oh, do I know anything about the Grove of the Ancients?
Right. Levin says I don't.
We're going to hope for some luck from...
From Mycelian madness.
Yes.
Yeah, that's been your problem.
I rolled a 10 too.
Except I got a 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just give them advantage instead of rolling?
Well,
I don't know how I'd give
you
them
could,
advantage.
or an inspiration in a way. I mean, I could like that would work as well.
I don't have an inspiration.
I also don't have inspiration.
Um.
I like rolling.
Yeah,
Okay.
you don't have.
So you said 14.
14.
Maybe the Hydra's bad luck for you.
Give me
It's
three
more the
moments.
feel of the medium die. It's like slick.
Okay, so
I just have to. I need a different style of roll.
the only
You do
thing
the Mark John
you know
Dole,
about the Grove of the Ancients
Thing that he does.
is that it's north of the Kashar Forest, and it used to be an ancient druidic grove created by the Nation of the Red Sun, predating the First War. But the sacred grove was turned into after the slaying of the 13 chieftains. Or I'm sorry, it's not the 13, it's the 7 chieftains. Many of the chieftains were taken, were captured essentially by the humans as they were warring. So there were really only 7 chieftains left.
Mm-hmm.
The Sacred Grove was abandoned shortly after the slaying of the 7 chieftains at the hand of the chieftains' wives, afterwards known as the First Day of Penance. Everyone knows that.
Everyone knows that.
Everyone meaning here, right? The grove ceased to be a sacred grove at that point and instead became their tomb. And over time, the Grove of the Ancients actually... So at one point, the orcs knew the Grove of the Ancients to be within their territory, and then over a course of like 50 years, was no longer their territory. They have to actually exit the Kashar Forest in order to get to it.
That painting you have.
Oh yeah.
It was a sidebar, but it was perfect.
No, that's fine.
Will has a painting that's like a bunch of trees, but they're also bodies.
So from Rogue Country Fair, it was kind of like people turned into trees kind of idea, like the people in the ancients like arms extending up into like the foliage and
The
like
Grove of
legs
Dawn,
down. Yeah,
Mhm.
which is real cool.
Interesting.
I can't remember which book it is, but Charles Dillon. It's basically like a Grove of the Ancients, but the trees are like building size and the space around street avenue size.
Jill's actually a huge fan of Delent.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I fucking love his books.
yeah. It's Jill's birthday this week.
Cool.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday, Joe.
Which, by the way,
Happy birthday, Jill.
Sunday's going to be a little thing. Join.
I has to.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
have
sure.
6.
Chat afterwards.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'll shoot you a text.
So yeah, that's what you're recalling. I mean, you and primarily, you know a little bit about the Grove of the Ancients because it's actually outside the Kashar Forest. A couple of your colleagues way back in the day actually went on a pilgrimage there and came back with a shit ton of knowledge, in which you absorbed like a sponge. So, yeah, that's essentially like years and years after that. That's what you recall. So I'm gonna say, just from your role, I'm gonna say that Kath has never been to the Grove of the Ancients. Fascinating.
Disrespectful.
No, I wouldn't say that. I would say just fascinating.
Yeah.
You know, because you got
Well, okay, to be fair, you got to remember Keth was originally training to be a warrior, which is part of his backstory,
Right.
before, everything that happened with his best friend being lost.
Right.
And then he decided to be a monk. So he wasn't really, as spiritual, until, later in his life. And then he chose to leave the Kashar Forest because he believed that was his calling. So the Grove of Ancients just, didn't happen for him,
yeah.
Yet.
Yet.
I think that's where we should probably.
How can you all get there, though?
Has anybody tried just getting to the edge of there and holding hands with Mark and walking through?
Yes.
Bill,
Does it work?
No.
can I ask this is me. I want to
Very
ask
good
Lennon a question. Hey, Lennon,
Yes.
the compasses that the gnomes use when they come to our gatherings
Right.
that take them back to their myco-gnome city. Do you think my friends could use those if we got some from the gnomes to get back to the gnome city, and then we could go around the outside?
They would never give them up.
But, we'd give them back. They're friends, right? We do a trade.
They're friends to the Orcish people.
Mm-hmm. Well, we would ask for them.
They are
I
not
speak no.
at all trustful of outsiders, even less so than us.
Mhm.
And that's
Y'all
saying
are some
something.
xenophobic people.
Yeah.
I mean, humans, granted, are trash in this world.
Well, not to mention the fact that
Most worlds.
the gnomes they're a bit unhinged. I mean,
Oh.
think about how closely connected they've been to the mycelium all these years.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not.
They are not. They're here
Oh, they
and
know about what's
simultaneously
going on.
not here.
Do you think they can feel what's happening in the Kashar Forest? Do you think they might be able to help us? Or might be willing to help us with everything that's happening? They must be able to feel the mycelium and the stress it is.
I mean, perhaps.
No. I just feel like going to the Grove of Ancients might be a good idea if we need to go into crap. But what do you think?
Well, before I need to ask some questions. I'm a little unclear as to what happened inside of the Standing Stones. You experienced something. Keth, you all basically collapsed on the ground. I mean, you were drooling out of your. I don't. My point is what were you experiencing? What happened?
Well, we kind of talked about it in the cave when we rested before. We talked about
I would say that Lennon was really in his head about his great aunt, wasn't listening at all. If I'm sorry, if you had this conversation before, I was not listening. Can you please just go over it again? I hate to ask for you to repeat yourself. It's not very polite, but
Well, it's one of many sort of visions I feel like I've been granted by the mycelium. And this one, they showed me their perspective on various points in our history.
Same. Well, they showed me a perspective on why the mycelium left us first time. The forest showed me.
Yeah, we talked about it a lot. Do you not talk to?
I listened.
I'm not
and
actually clear what I
went,
saw because I didn't have a particular vision like you guys did.
and
So-
we saw tunnels underground, and we saw them filled with.
you actually heard. This is where I'm. Forgive me. I'm going to use the word doubting. The mycelium said actual words to you.
Images.
It was more like they send us impressions and feelings as part of their collective, and our brains make sense of it in words. So they're not full sentences, and they're not quite cohesive, but it's a very strange way of communicating. I feel like we've been subjected to it a few times. That we're starting to make it out.
And in mid-sentence,
Mm-hmm.
Lennon actually drops to his knees and sort of genuflects in your general direction, kissing your feet, left first, right then left again, and says, I've never heard of such a thing. And so this is where like Keth kind of gets a little bit real with himself.
Mm-hmm.
Is that when the orcs listen, it's always like it's a general feeling that turns into sort of a compass like, direction that they go.
Mm-hmm.
It's never really any sort of direct translation. And so he's kind of going Muad'Dib on you for in a little bit of a way right now, like that something's happening with him where he's viewing you as somewhat more than any orc that he's ever met. And you just got that all wordlessly from him as he genuflects in front of you and kisses your feet.
I'm gonna say, rise, brother. This does not
And
put
he
me
rises.
above you. My friends as well have been experiencing this. The Mycelian are reaching out to us. They're crying out for help.
Why?
Time's over there, kind of like leaning like a little closer to them. Like, hey.
What else? Okay.
Cash shoots you a look.
And so another thing that happens with Lennon is he keeps like reaching out and touching you.
And I say, friend, you're going to get pussy if you keep touching me.
And he says, "Oh God, yeah, sorry, I'm sorry." But he keeps like reaching out to you, as in like there's this really weird instinct inside of him that wants to get close to you, physically close to you, not a sexual thing, just like a
inside you,
like a magnet sort of way, like an attraction sort of way.
And I kind of see that, and so like there's this thing that's like a really intimate gesture between orcs, not sexual at all, but you trace the center line on someone else's chin.
Little
fucking
sexual?
hot.
And so he just like Keth just like reaches out and says like calm, and he like does it to him.
Sounds sexual
Yeah.
to me.
It's
I mean,
I know, but it's
you're
not.
basically like, it's not sexual. It's fine. Calm yourself.
it's a very it's whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so Bill's laughing, but Lennon is not. Lennon, yes, it's not. Okay,
We're 100% agree.
You need to just calm your shit, right?
I'm really calming down right now.
so explain to me what happened after they communicated to you. What else did you experience?
Well, I don't think I experienced quite as much as Time. She is more or less centered in our entire history, and as such, viewed various points of it where I only saw one perspective, and that was the orcs.
Go ahead and Keth, make an intelligence check, please.
Yeah, sure. Can I make like a wisdom check?
I'll allow an insight.
Doesn't matter. Hit me with whatever happened. That's
That's
a 20, friends.
Good job. You completed.
Again?
You completed
Yeah,
the try.
that's my
Dude,
first one.
20's abound tonight.
There are
Cheers.
many.
So
Nah.
you as that's like kind of spilling out of your mouth, you actually realize that's not true. That you felt as though you went almost astral and rose above the canopy of the Kashar and actually like went all around. I mean, you experienced this. All of you were sort of like viewing. It was almost as if you had as close to a sort of bird's eye view of Terra Sentia as you could possibly get. And it was all coming at you at once, but the four focal points which you were sort of almost drawn to inexplicably were Kragst, Valenstein,
Rosax.
Rosax, and Skyhelm.
Mm-hmm.
And for our viewers, Skyhelm is a floating dwarven citadel that exists. May I? You want to hold it up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skyhelm's up
Floating.
here.
Yeah. Well, it's actually so the location is very fluid. So
Yeah.
we drew it in there,
spectrum.
but it actually exists all along that mountain range at any given time.
And Gildestor is where it lands occasionally for festivals.
Every 5 years
Every 5
for
years.
a massive festival that did we say dwarves and elves kind of come together to like
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah,
forgot about that.
elves
So,
come and
yeah.
and
and it's a massive festival.
it's the
like-
only time Skyhelm ever lands anymore.
5 Earth years or 5?
No.
5 Terra Sentia
Skyhelm
years.
doesn't land;
Mm.
it hovers over, and it's this 5-day festival, but it's in like
The shade.
just shade, so it feels like a nighttime festival for 5 days.
Oh, that sounds
So does
super awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I guess I didn't mean landed. I meant more like that's the only time they like come out of Skyhelm and like interact with the populace, and it's every 5 Terra Sentia years.
right.
So like 40 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Earth years.
So so I'm saying this because your words to Lenin, as it's spilling out, like actually Keth is realizing, oh wow, these words are not true at all.
Okay.
So
So I don't know I don't know what to tell him though. Like as
You-
a player.
That you saw these 4 cities.
Okay.
And that
But what do I know about that?
they're
Just that I-
connected. Maybe we need to visit them in this particular order.
Okay. That's actually a good. Yeah, so basically I just start talking about these 4 cities and then you kind of like maybe this is like a specific order that we need to visit them in and we're all kind of just like talking this through. That's not very intelligent, guys. I may have seen this shit, but like
Yeah.
my intelligence
well,
is
do you,
11.
and do either of you have anything to add? Because this is all being talked about, and Lennon's just trying to wrap his brain around it because he didn't experience this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think because I didn't see the visions that they saw, right?
Well, you
They
saw
just-
the,
saw the same-
above experience. You just didn't have a vision. past
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
But I saw like the key point of the cities, right? So
And maybe these are locks to unlock the heart of him. So it.
Find that interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Beyond.
Insight check for you.
7.
Yeah. Your emotions are all muddled.
Yeah. Can I get
I'm
like
really tired.
now that we're all chatting about this as a group, like and kind of like sharing and reliving it and having access to Lennon, can Time get some sort of insight or like intelligence check on this? Meaning like thinking about like the significance of these cities, perhaps like in a historical sense, because what we connected back to.
Yeah, please.
Intelligence or insight? Okay.
Insight, yeah.
12.
So you think that you're on the precipice of discovering how you could actually leave the Kashar Forest. There's something gnawing at you. It's on the tip of your tongue, but you just can't. There's no words.
Wait, whoa. What if what our vision was trying to show us? We went through these tunnels and then we went to the sky and then we saw these cities in sequential order. What if these tunnels connect these cities? And that's how you all get out of the Kashar.
Can Ferg
I like
roll a
that.
history to see if I've read like even possibly just like a legend about these 4 cities being connected?
Yeah, please.
Do it. 14.
Oh. No, these 4 cities are not connected. I mean, if anything, there's a legend that says that all of the Dwarven Sky Citadels were connected via. But otherwise,
Okay,
no.
wait a second.
Connected via
Fallenstein,
what?
hang on, guys.
Yeah.
Fallenstein is a Dwarven Sky Citadel that
Yes.
the humans won and have used for a city since then. It's going around and doing fucked up. That's how it moves around, does fucked up shit to everything, right?
Yeah.
Rosex, I don't know if it has a Dwarven thing in it, but I feel like that's one of the history things we learned about Rosax when we were making it. That it used to be one of the citadels. That thing. And if
No, that's not one of the things, but it's also named after Lilyhammer's daughter.
Rosax,
so it's
right?
got strong dwarven connections somehow,
and
somewhere.
we know that the dwarves can come and go from the top of cracks somehow, right?
Mhm.
So, like, what if there is some, like, form of whatever their shit is up there, and that's the part that's connected that you can get out? Like, because Fallenstein is a citadel, and so is Skyhelm, and those are two of the 4 cities. And we know that the dwarves come and go from the top of Crags, the mountain, the crest, right? So, like, and then Rosax has a connection as well, just within the name, and that's all we kind of know from that. But, like, yeah.
But there was a 5th floating citadel that the dwarves had. Where is that?
Well, I've never been to the other side of the Frosthelm Mountains. I don't know if it's with the elves, but...
Does that ring a bell for me, like, in terms of, like, my family background with, like, the, like, history of, like, the Demon Wars, specifically on the dwarves? Like, would I have known about a 5th city?
Yeah, you do know that there is a 5th city, but you know that it was sort of lost. I mean, lost is a very vague word, but yeah, exactly. But lost inside of the First War. As in, at a certain point, it disappeared or left or whatever, and was just simply never seen again.
I wonder if it went to the demon realm.
Does
Roanoke did.
Farron have any sort of like, is any of this ringing a bell for Farron in terms of like, like 235 years?
Roll an insight check.
But
because this is all coming at you.
But like
with a
also
lot of
as like
information.
a lichen step, and like ties to the Grand Mycolog and ties to like old blood. Yeah. Right?
Insight.
So is there anything? 5, 6, 18?
Yeah.
18. So wow. Okay. So the first thing is that as Keth and Ferg and Time are all kind of like swirling about with all of this information, right? All of this is starting to connect, but it still doesn't help you out with the predicament that you are all trapped here. And you start thinking back upon what everyone's saying about like, well, I mean, like, we're in the Kashar, let's just go to Kragst, right? And then Lennon said something to the degree of like, well, that's going to be really hard for y'all non-orcs, I mean, you're going to have to be blessed by, the ancients old and new, the ancestors old and new. And something strikes you. You were observing all of this over the top of the canopy of the Kashar. You even kind of left the area for a while, and you were just sort of completely free to go wherever you wanted. Now, granted, you weren't really in control of that, but you're sort of thinking about things, in a dude, yeah, like let's sort of like in a dude way, like new shit has come to light, man. If you can find a way to astral travel or like find a way to actually leave your body spiritually, you think that you maybe could leave the Kashar Forest. Or even better, if you found a way to actually transform yourself to something not humanoid, maybe you could leave.
This is so up my...
It's get transformed, man.
All right. Real talk, though. Farron isn't actually interested in leaving the Kashar Forest. I mean...
I disagree.
He is. He is in a sense. Treat it like the dude would, all right? So, like, he's, like, eternally fascinated by the Kashar. Like, he's super, super fanboy. And now he's got a kid. And, like, that kid's not leaving the Kashar anytime soon. He loves the kid, right?
Kind of.
The only thing he really wants to leave the Kashar for is to, like, see his staff, like, see the stepping stone. But even that is, like, he's like, if I could transcend this shit and be 2 places at once, that would be fucking amazing. So, like, the fact that this is ringing a bell in some kind of way is, like, a perfect fit for Farron.
Yeah. So what does Farron voice out loud as everyone's sort of, they're everyone's sharing their knowledge and everything like that. What does Farron say?
Farron is like, you guys, what if when the three of us were above it all, above it all, like when we were around those stones and like
Yes, our elevation
shit
was
got
quite
weird,
substantial.
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What if we really were? What if we were? What if we did leave? What if this is something that we're just, because it felt real. Did it feel real to you? Did it feel really real to you? I feel like we were
As
really
much
there.
as anything does to me.
Right?
Yeah.
So like similar things have happened before. Like, I mean, we've talked to people, we've been places, there's a lot of communication to be had here. This is a very spiritual space.
As you're having this conversation with everyone, Morel is stroking the back of your.
No one else sees this, though.
Continue.
I'm presuming.
But
No one else sees this.
like, I'm like, what if that's the answer? Like, we keep talking about like movement, man, but like we moved, we were there. So like, what if we figure out what that was all about? What if we figure out how to travel that way? That's where we've learned everything we've learned so far, is communicating in this way and like seeing things in this way.
How would we take Ferg with us?
The traveling mushroom that happened. Forest fires that we saw.
Oh,
Like,
the ones that weren't mature yet.
yeah, but I mean, what if you take those materials and you're not physically teleporting, but you are
Traveling through the network.
Mhm.
traveling through the network and astrally projecting out of the forest.
So with that idea, I need you, since you're sort of like the resident psilocybin expert, please make a nature check.
Can I assist in this nature check?
How would you like to assist?
The irony of my stats is
I know.
it never ceases to amaze me.
Straight
It's like
rolling.
I'm a feeler,
Playing.
You
not
kind
a
of pull
thinker.
it. You kind of pull a Christine Shook. I'm just saying,
it's
it's awesome.
Less
Trust me.
control.
I mean, Ferg would just be talking about this mushroom. I don't know. This is a hard one.
Okay.
Because I have a really good nature, but it's all from like reading stuff, and the whole point of coming on this was I wanted to learn it real time.
Can I come at it from a place of like street knowledge? Like I'm trying to get from point A to point B. Like I'm trying to fix the situation.
Wisdom-based.
So you could almost call it medicine.
So I'll throw you a bone and say, why don't you make the knowledge nature, but you're aiding with your survival
Oh,
sort
hell
of
yeah.
skills.
So
Does that make sense?
you roll at advantage?
So it's intelligence aided by wisdom. You roll at advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the question again? Remind me.
This mushroom that was growing at this fungus that was growing at the base of the tree that had been hit by lightning, that you said could be used for travel.
Right.
Like, can we take this and use it to astrally project and get to the places we need to go?
Okay.
And actually leave the Kashar. Jesus. 15.
That's pretty good.
So the answer is no, but only because you realize that those trees that were said to be struck by lightning, you realize in a moment of inspiration that they actually weren't struck by lightning. Someone must have actually like caught them on fire on purpose.
Let's go burn down some trees.
So to sort of like germinate their seed. But even still, you don't think that would accomplish the same goal. But Lennon said, "I think you're on the right track.
Can I do an insight
think
check for confidence?
Maybe we should go
about
back to
my bullshit?
Blackfang and talk about this with other orcs that may be more experienced in."
Therapy.
Y'all can see your baby. We could talk to Ramalg.
Yeah, let's do it.
Time is trying
Honestly,
tries to
it
talk
might
to
be a
Morel.
good idea too because I'm worried that the Rock Queen,
Is she still
I
in
can
your head?
still hear her, and I'm worried that she might be sending these other stack of jelly sacks at either one of the other tribes. And if they touch the orcs, like, look at me.
Oh.
And I'm like,
We gotta
I'm a
protect our
hardy
tribe.
motherfucker.
I feel like the good news is that if they came at the Ironbacks or the Blackfang, I feel like they would have enough time to, at the very least, defend themselves. But they need to be armed with the knowledge that they cannot touch these creatures.
Well, Faye went towards the Black Fang, and hopefully, they will get there first because they're much faster than
But
these
it's the
creatures. But it's the
Ironbacks that I'm
Ironbacks
worried about.
exactly. So if we go to the Black Fangs, we're leaving the Ironbacks exposed. That's the only.
Do we know where the Ironbacks are right now?
Well, if we've been with the Black Fangs, we should know where the other tribes are.
Yeah. Who are we closer to the Ironbacks or the Blackfang?
Let me look at the map.
Just
Definitely warn
based
people.
on my
Right? I mean, if we're gonna
patterns.
go somewhere to we can chat with their Dothbaron, Kesha, and warn them too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not that we have the same rapport as we do with Ramalg, but
The Ironbacks are they're closer to the Rosax Basin than any other tribe. As a matter of fact, they're the most near the myco-gnomes.
I mean, the myco-gnomes might be able to transform y'all into animals.
Try convincing them to do that. Try convincing them to do anything.
Challenge accepted.
I like the
Do
gnomes.
they-
I have some gnomies.
Do
They're
they
great,
do
but they're
things for shiny rocks.
They're not fun to.
Mushroom covered
to-
rocks more. But
They're fun to be around, but they're not fun to. I don't know.
Work with.
It seems like there's some deep seated shit with Lennon and the gnomes.
Fun sounds like fun. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened?
oh, they were saying the gnomes could be fun.
We're gonna go warn the Ironbacks and take
maybe
a side
talk
trip
to a Nomi Gnome.
to talk to a Nomi Gnome.
Excuse me.
Well, I have a
well,
question.
okay. Mhm.
What can I make an insight check to see if I can determine what the Rock Queen is having the other people try to do?
Wait, say that one more time.
I'm affected by this, and I can hear the Rock Queen's commands to an extent or whatever. Can I make an insight check to see if I know where she's sending these jelly bags?
Absolutely. And a question to Pen and Paper Capers. You said, "Ooh, how long ago was this disappearance? Which disappearance again?"
The Fifth City,
Of the Fifth City.
the Roanoke City.
Oh, right. It was during the First War, so it was centuries ago.
That is super cocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't roll it onto that.
God damn, didn't get it.
Okay.
It was.
It's yeah, and
I'm actually at a disadvantage. Still a 3.
Lovely.
I'm actually gonna say
Most fun
that
role-playing
your
ever.
your desire to sort of connect with the Rock Queen to figure out her plans.
Made her back off.
Oh no, the opposite. It increased your exhaustion to level 3.
Damn it.
No.
All right, we need to find a druid and heal real quick.
Where are we gonna
To the
find that?
Ironbacks.
To the Ironbacks.
Let's do it.
Let's make you a little trebois so you can lie down and I will pull you there. Because you look like shit.
So you
and
can have
you
a
need
long
to
rest.
sleep.
Hey, Bill, I want to, if Morel is still around at any point, I want to ask her if she knows anything about
can I
going
eat
astral.
Hang on.
Any
One
way
of
that
those
we might be able
mushrooms,
to do that
would
and
do
travel
anything to me?
outside of the
it's
Shire, or
more for,
to get the blessing
maiming
at the
stuff.
forest.
If you got a broken arm or something.
With the bones poking out, yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe a hole in your gut.
Gross.
Just saying. Why do we keep in the chat room?
Mine keeps doing that
She
too.
says, yeah, I know. Mine is also doing that. So I think it's because when we're down in this room, the Wi-Fi just doesn't really connect that well.
Yeah,
Which is a
but the
bummer.
video's not glitching out, which is why.
Well, the video's not glitching out because we're running the video through the Ethernet cable.
yeah,
Yeah, I turned the Wi-Fi off so that we have actually more bandwidth to deal with our shit.
yay bandwidth.
Yeah, I mean,
Always have enough
it's great.
bandwidth.
Okay, so to address what you said, Morel says, can you ask your question again? I'm sorry. I'm trying to formulate an answer. But
I try to ask if she knew any way for us to attain like an astral form or an astral travel, so that we can leave the forest or potentially go gain the blessing at the Grove of Ancients.
she says, well, I'm pretty sure one of the orc tribes, especially the chiefesses, would know how to do. But I also know that perhaps one of the druids may have the power to transform one of you into an animal
I'm gonna be.
and you could potentially get out of the Kashar Forest that way. But otherwise, and she comes up to you and she sort of grabs you by the waist, by the belt. She says, I mean, it'd be another way.
What way?
And then from there, you realize that you're actually looking at Farron. Farron said, sort of like, hey, you're talking to yourself. What's going on?
It's not new.
Yeah, and Farron's shaking you by your belt.
Whoa.
Mhm.
Can you?
Is it time?
Remember how
Is it?
massive? Remember how massive this belt is. It's like WWE, like
Yeah,
World
yeah.
Wrestling, like
Yeah.
like I'm the World Wrestling Federation.
Mhm.
Like it's a
I'm
really
still saying
girthy belt.
there's dwarf
Mhm.
tunnels, y'all.
Yeah.
I mean, if
I'm
you were right,
conspiracy
I'd feel
theorist
safe
Keth
riding
in
on
this
this
one.
ride.
There's dwarf tunnels.
Okay, you should.
But it's also the belt of dwarven kind, and technically you're wearing it. Dwarf, right?
Yeah.
That's
Hence the beard.
that's
Which mean and dwarves can come and go from the Kashar.
Well, only from the top of.
no, that's not true.
Oh, they can't.
They
Nope.
can. That's what I was saying. They can only come and go from the top of Craxed where they visit.
With that brought up though, go ahead and have Ferg make an insight check.
Come on.
And as a
Ferg,
matter
don't
of fact,
fuck it up.
yeah, okay, cool.
10.
14 again.
Okay.
Oh no, that's an 11. Sorry.
Yeah, +1 insight.
I'm smart. I'm only mildly wise.
Yes, but what if it was an intelligence-based insight? Because that's what I was about to say.
Oh.
Because this is based off of your knowledge retention over the past like couple sessions.
That would only make it a 12.
So,
Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to say is that, wow, there's something relevant that just happened to what was just said, and you're racking your brain about it. You can't think about it. Can't think, what the fuck? There's
Come on,
something
y'all.
important there.
the belt.
Well,
Dwarven-
if it makes you like a dwarf, right? What if that is the key to finding these tunnels?
Yeah, I don't doubt.
Like, what if you can open them?
I can find them.
Speak friend and enter.
Yeah, I have
Mhm.
advantage on Dwarven stuff. I speak Dwarven. I think we could roll this out.
So you're heading to the Ironbacks, correct?
Yes. You need to fit. I'm dragging this one.
Okay.
It looks kind of funny.
So it's going to take you it's going to take you a long time to get to the Ironbacks. Let me just, and by math, I mean, not math.
It takes you this many days.
It's going to take you about 4 days to get to where you're going. So I need everyone, all the players to roll 1d20. And if you get in between 1 and 5, let me know.
I did.
Nope.
Right.
Yes, that's a 7.
Okay.
God, I hate all of my dice right
No.
That's good. You only 1 in 5 was bad. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
No offense.
Yeah. I know, but
Okay, so the first day is an unfortunate day. You step into, a forest canopy bed that you're basically forced to create a rope line and lower yourself down a very steep embankment within the middle of the forest. Nothing that's any more or any less dangerous than anything else in this forest. And as you're getting down the embankment, there is an eruption inside of the ground. And what looks to be like sort of dried out, rotten fiddleheads off of ferns, except they're the size of like this big around, just erupt out of the ground.
Burn it with fire.
And we are rolling initiative, and that's where we're ending tonight.
Do you want us to actually roll initiative, or you want to just start with initiative?
We're going to start with initiative next session.
Okay.
Did you really want to roll initiative? Sorry.
No, I know. Everybody wants to roll initiative. I mean, who wouldn't?
All right, guys, can we all try to practice the way Mark rolls, though? It's so, just cash, and, he always gets good rolls, and I can't do it. It's all on the wrist.
You just rolled a 17.
I know.
I blame the weed.
Man, I just tired.
Any parting thoughts? Any theories? Because honestly, so some of you are on to something big time, and some of you are woo, way off, and some of you are really in the middle, and it's really fascinating to see all of that coming together. It's really weird. So
I'm having trouble connecting dots. Dwarf belt. I don't know where we need to go. We need to get out.
Well, it's definitely something dwarf related. Two of them are for sure dwarf cities, and then the third, Top of Cracks, we know is dwarf centrated, right?
And possibly tunnels underneath there, right?
Maybe,
right, and we saw the tunnels, and we know that they were metal.
What if the fifth dwarf city disappeared in?
It doesn't matter. I was off.
The Kashar, and
no, I'm not saying that.
Control it and float us.
I'm saying that happens to me often in games.
I'll remember it in a few hours.
What if the fifth is on the Top of Cracks?
I don't remember it right now.
Yeah,
it is Cracks.
Yeah. So
it's my control belt.
Yeah.
It's your what?
My control belt.
For what?
The fifth dwarf city, which is either
or any of the cities
Cracks.
or connections to these pieces.
I think the last thing that we'll do tonight, just in kind of a game thing, why don't you roll an insight check? But I would like you to roll at advantage because Morel is whispering sweet somethings into your ear that may inspire something a little bit more substantial.
Hello, sweet.
20-something, 22.
So if the Belt of Dwarven Kind effectively makes you into a veritable dwarf, then that means that all of the times that you've ever thought that you could maybe grab the
all of the times
you can use his fucking dagger.
That's right.
Ooh, yeah.
We have to
I'm
go
feeling it.
The Griffin Beak dagger.
To,
you
Zeph.
think that you could actually wield it wearing this belt?
I don't know what that gets me, but
and
we'll find out.
And you shouldn't. You have zero knowledge
apart from
of the
I've been
Griffin
touched
Beak.
by it before.
Yeah, and both of you share those scars.
Maybe I should borrow the belt. No.
Oh my god! No.
I have history with this thing. I need
You
to
don't
figure
like
out what the
facial
fuck's
hair.
happening.
So,
facial hair.
you
gives us
all
some
were
trauma.
fantastic tonight. You were all a lot of fun. Everyone just kind of really sunk into everything. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. It was one of those sessions, and this happens frequently now, where I had a lot of knowledge and certain things that I wanted to add into it, but I had zero direction. And so some of you really added a lot of direction, and so I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yay, direction.
And thank you to our viewers. Tune in next week where we will not only be delving deeper into this mystery, but we will be adding another player, who was our engineer this whole time. But since we got a little stream deck going on, we can kind of control things from inside this room now, and so it's pretty fucking cool. So
let's call it what it is. We need a healer.
Yeah. I mean, they're gonna get a cleric. That's all I know about what Fisher's creating.
Is Fisher really a cleric?
Yeah, he's actually creating a cleric. Yeah, I don't know what race. I don't know anything like that, but I know a little bit of background, but that's up to him to reveal.
Do you know what style of cleric?
I do not.
Oh.
I do not. No.
Mystery flavor.
Yeah. What I do know is that thank you for watching. I do know that it would be very awesome if you went on all of our sort of like YouTube, Twitter. Please follow us on all of those things. And if you're super inspired and you like what you see, sponsor us on Patreon.
Don't be like me.
$2 a month gets you kind of the bare minimum, which I think right now is like 2 stickers and a bunch of other things. And then $5 a month is a couple of drink coasters and definitely like the start of like gaining like a 5e conversion to Rise of the Rune Lords, which is pretty cool that I converted myself. And all the way up to like $50 a month with it, which is basically me talking not drunk, essentially. No, $50 a month is essentially me converting a whole adventure path for you from Pathfinder to 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. So,
hell yeah.
We love you. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.